Sergeant First Class, Angeleek, Courtney, United States Army. Please have a seat. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the ceremony in honor of our wounded warrior guest, Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney, United States Army. Please stand for the invocation offered by our Legion Post Chaplain, John Murphy. Veterans, remove your covers. Got a little bit ahead of myself there. You need to stand anyway, but we're about to post the colors. Color guard duties will be performed by VFW Post 1289 and Korean War Veterans, Chapter 34, 234, both from Summers Point and Atlantic County. Veterans attend hut, color guard post the colors. Veterans cover and hand salute. Two. And now for our invocation.
Good afternoon. You can see that the military hasn't changed. Cover, uncover, cover, uncover, cover. Please uncover. Two. We ask, dear Father, that by this ceremony and by our presence here today, that we become more aware of what our armed forces sacrifice for us every day. Today we honor and thank our representative of all our military, and especially our wounded warriors, in the person and the uniform of Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney. We acknowledge her sacrifice for us. We pray for her total recovery, as we pray for the recovery of all our wounded warriors. We also pray that Sergeant Courtney's son, Michael, and all of our future generations will never have to utter a similar prayer. Amen. Cover. Two.
Thank you, John. And now please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now our national anthem performed by Carol Passantrelli. That was pretty good, wasn't it? Okay, thank you, Carol. Everyone, please be seated. Again, good evening, everyone. It's great to see so many folks here from communities throughout our local area, and a special salute to the various veterans groups and auxiliary units that have supported our Wounded Warrior Week program right from the start. On behalf of my fellow members of American Legion Post 469 and Our Ladies Auxiliary, I'd like to welcome everyone to this ceremony to honor our Wounded Warrior for 2017, Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney, United States Army. As many of you know, this is our 6th annual Wounded Warrior Week. Each year we ask our military contacts to nominate someone who was injured in action but would still be able to take advantage of a week's vacation here at the Jersey Shore. The search is not as easy as it sounds, but the results have always been outstanding. This year's search led us to Wounded Warrior we honor here today, and we're certainly very pleased with the selection of Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney. And let's take a moment to recognize Angeleek's family and friends who traveled here to share this special occasion with her. Of course, we have to start with Angeleek's 4-year-old son, Michael, sometimes known as Blake. And how about a hand for Michael's dad, Michael Reed? Like Angeleek, Michael Reed is also an Army Sergeant First Class, and we are very happy he was able to get time off to travel here from his duty station at Fort Stewart, Georgia. We have Angeleek's Aunt Stephanie, who made the drive here from Maryland with Angeleek. And other family members include Angeleek's Uncle Bruce and his family, who drove here, I think, from North Carolina. And Angeleek is very happy to have invited her friend Juan Ray to be with us as well. Our Legion Post members thank all of you for being here today, as we know your presence makes this week's events even more meaningful for our Wounded Warrior. Now, on your programs, you can see a list of those who contributed to make this year's Wounded Warrior Week possible. When you consider the individual residents as well as the members of numerous veterans organizations, you'll understand that we're talking about hundreds of people involved in making this year's Wounded Warrior Week come alive for Angeleek. This truly has been a veterans and community effort, and it's been done with enthusiasm, love, and appreciation for the sacrifices that our troops and their families make on our behalf. Angeleek clearly understands this, and she is happy to be here, not just for herself, but also to serve as a viable link for us to demonstrate through her our appreciation for all those who serve in our nation's armed forces. Now, after identifying our Wounded Warrior, the second challenge each year is to identify a great place for our guests to call home while visiting here at the shore. Each year we've been very lucky. This year, for the second time, the Miracle family has allowed us the use of their beautiful home on the Longport beachfront. Unfortunately, they couldn't be here to share this occasion with us, but let's give them a round of applause for the Miracle family for both times that they had to use their home. As you can read in your program, Sergeant First Class Courtney was injured in 2012 during a tour of duty in Afghanistan when an improvised explosive device detonated just outside her living quarters in Bagram. Knocked unconscious, when she came to, she immediately focused her attention on her troops, administering to their needs, despite the severe head pain she herself was experiencing. Once she had accounted for all her troops, she allowed herself to be taken to the base hospital, where she remained for over a week and was diagnosed with traumatic brain injury. She was eventually returned to the States and awarded the Purple Heart Medal. Now, it's a sad fact of warfare that when our Wounded Warriors come home from overseas, they usually do not arrive with their comrades to parades and homecoming celebrations. They often come home separate and apart to hospitals, to medical treatment and rehabilitation, and much doubt about their future. So each year when our Wounded Warriors come to town, we try to give them a little taste of the homecoming they deserve and might have missed. Of course, we don't tell them what to expect in advance. So Angeleek was probably a little surprised last Tuesday as she drove here from Maryland and found herself ending up in a large white limo for the final 4 miles of her journey. Her limo became part of a motorcade led by Longport police, American Legion riders on their Harleys, and accompanied by fire engines from Longport and other down beach communities. The motorcade, with lights flashing and sirens blaring, was joined in Longport by Alex McGee on his bagpipes, cadets from Atlantic City High School, NJROTC, and the Egg Harbor Township Police Color Guard. Upon arriving at the beach block where their vacation home is located, while the Army hymn was playing and local residents cheered and waved banners, our Wounded Warrior limo proceeded down the center of the street between saluting columns of American Legion riders and ROTC cadets. At that point, things settled down a bit, the light rain completely stopped, and we had ourselves a nice little beach block barbecue courtesy of our Longport firefighters, where many folks from our local communities had the opportunity to personally greet our Wounded Warrior. And when the crowd left and our guests entered their vacation home, they couldn't help but notice that the American Legion Women's Auxiliary had stocked the kitchen full with all the food, beverages, and other items they might need during their vacation. And I understand they put Michael Reed to work. His specialty in the Army is a cook. And so I understand you put that outside grill to good use, which is good. Okay, so that was the welcoming event on Tuesday. We let Angeleek and her family and friends get settled and reacquainted on Wednesday. On Thursday, we took them on a crabbing excursion on the back bay on the pontoon boat, Duke of Fluke. On Friday evening, our Wounded Warrior was treated by Bill Mosca and family to an exquisite private dinner at Morton's Steakhouse. Saturday afternoon was an outing where Angeleek's family joined a few other Legionnaires and their families on the Ocean City Boardwalk, where the children enjoyed the rides at the amusement parks. Saturday evening featured dinner and show at Harry's. The show featured Arsenio Hall, and yes, we even arranged for Angeleek to meet Arsenio after his show. And that brings us to this evening with a ceremony and reception in honor of our Wounded Warrior. Those are the highlights of this Wounded Warrior Week that were facilitated by you folks, to make Angeleek and her family feel welcome and at home during her visit with us. Let me thank all of you on behalf of the members of American Legion Post 469 and our Women's Auxiliary for supporting our efforts to make this year's Wounded Warrior Week so successful. Now, we're very pleased to welcome our local officials who have presentations to make, and I would like to thank them in advance for being here because their participation provides yet another indication for Sergeant First Class Courtney of just how strongly all of us feel about the service and sacrifices made by her, our military members, and their families. The officials we have with us today are from various levels of government. They represent the residents of our community, our county, our state, and our nation. We'll start at the local level. Our American Legion Post is headquartered here in Longport, so I'll ask Longport's Mayor Nick Russo to start things off.
First of all, I absolutely hate following Larry Passager. How can you top Larry Passager? Doesn't he have a great job? You know, I have been the mayor of Longport. I'm in my 10th year. And I get to do many things as a mayor that make me very, very proud that I'm part of this community. But I don't think there's another event that I'm more proud to be a part of than this event each year. And I had the privilege of actually seeing Sergeant First Class Courtney when she came out of that limo after the motorcade. And to see her face and to watch the faces of the people in the crowd, and that includes the tough guys, the cops, the firemen, all the other former veterans. I don't think there was anybody that wasn't moved by what they saw. There's one bad part of this program, and it's really not bad. It's the fact that we can't do something like this for every single wounded warrior that comes back from risking their life to protect our freedom. That puts the responsibility on members of the armed service like Angeleek, for she is the symbol. Today she is the symbol. This week she has been the symbol of every single wounded warrior in the United States of America. So Angeleek, you've done a great job with that, representing the armed services. We really wish you the best. And what we have here, a small token from the borough of Longport, and it is the key to the city. Now this will probably be the last key that we will be giving out, because today we're doing these little, what do they call it, the entrance cards, and we're doing fingerprints. So we're not going to be able to give you a fingerprint on a plaque. But we're going to give you this key and let that represent what this whole entire community, although this says Longport, it represents every city in South Jersey. Thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think that was a tough act to follow. Okay, now we have a proclamation. This is from the Atlantic County Executive, Dennis Levinson, who couldn't be here today, but I'll ask Dennis McWigan to make the presentation. And it's a beautiful plaque. And we'll be laying these out on the table inside so you can see these things close up afterwards during the reception. This one reads, Atlantic County Executive Dennis Levinson proudly salutes Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney, U.S. Army, Wounded Warrior Week honoree with gratitude and respect for your sacrifice and service to our country, and hereby proclaims Sunday, September 24, 2017, as Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney Day in all of Atlantic County. Signed, Dennis Levinson. Thank you, Dennis. And now, representing our area at the state level, we have State Assemblyman Vince Mazzio.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank the American Legion, Post 469, and the Women's Auxiliary for putting this together, all those who organized this event this week. For me, Angeleek Courtney, a great week for her. You know, as your legislator, we have the ability to do a lot of bills for veterans, the military, the wounded warrior. And we've done some good work in the state and in our country to try and help veterans and those who are wounded. But sometimes we fall a little short, and we always have to do better. And as a legislator, I will tend to keep doing better for our veterans and those who fought for our freedom. Because without that, we can't do this today. And we need to honor people every day, as Mayor Nick Russo said. But one of my best things that I enjoy is gratitude is best in person. And I just want to thank Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney for her service, for fighting for freedom, and I want to wish her continued help as she is on the state side. And you know, Mayor Nick Russo, he's a good friend of mine, so I always love him. He always says, You know, in Longport, it's always sunny and 80 even in January. And I hope that this week was a special week for Angeleek, Courtney, Sergeant First Class, because I know their family. I hope their family's here. I see that they have a lovely family in front of us. I hope you had a nice week. And I only wish you success. On behalf of Lake Center Whalen and Senator-elect Colin Bell and myself, Senator Vince Maggio, I want to first begin these resolutions.
And now we have Assemblyman and member of our Legion Post, Chris Brown.
Thank you, Larry. It's great to be here, and I can tell you that I look forward to this every year. And I've been able to be part of it over the last 4 years, and it is like a Norman Rockwell moment, where that small town American community comes together to honor one of our own and say thank you for your service and for your sacrifice. And as somebody who has been activated for war 2 times, and each time has answered and has served overseas, I can tell you firsthand the toll that it takes on a family when you know your loved one is not home and you don't know what the next day brings. So to the family, I say thank you for sharing her with us, and thank you for being patriots yourselves. A couple years ago, I got to join this Legion, and I can tell you that the dedication and time and energy that these great Americans put in so that we can have events like this, you just can't even begin to imagine. And so this winter, I got a call from Larry, and I got my cool hat. So I got to break it in today, and this is the first time I get to wear this hat. Normally I have my veteran's hat. And I think of this, and this is what I like to remind people, and this is from George Orwell. And what he said, in a world full of evil people who wish to do us harm, we sleep peacefully at night under the blanket of freedom provided by the brave men and women who stand guard over us as we sleep. And so this week, the community of Longport, on behalf of a grateful nation, showed its appreciation for the commitment and sacrifice of Sergeant Courtney and her family for standing guard against evil. And in the great tradition started by this post, Sergeant Courtney, this week you got to sleep peacefully thanks to the residents of Longport. I also want to make sure I say thank you to all of you for being here. I think it is important as Americans that we take pause from our busy lives and that we acknowledge the service and the sacrifice of Sergeant Courtney. And as a representative of all of you, and having the great privilege of getting to go to Trenton and be a voice for each and every one of you, to be able to present Sergeant Courtney with a resolution in the entire state of New Jersey and the General Assembly, thanking you for your dedication to this country, your commitment to all that we stand for, and the sacrifices that you've made. On behalf of a grateful nation and a grateful state, I say thank you from the bottom of my heart. God bless you.
I think Chris said the hat looks pretty good on you. Wear it more often. Okay, and now we have you as Congressman representing the New Jersey 2nd District. We have a proclamation from Congressman Frank Lobiondo, and I'll ask Dennis McGuigan to present it. and just a quick paragraph from a letter that the congressman sent. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney to the 2nd Congressional District in New Jersey and thank her for her selfless service in Afghanistan. I hope that Angeleek and her son Michael enjoy their visit to the Jersey Shore. Please present the enclosed certificate and special recognition in honor of this special occasion. Sincerely, signed, Frank A. Lobiondo, Member of Congress. Thank you, Dennis. For the 4th year now, we welcome an organization known as the Chapel of the Four Chaplains, headquartered in the Philadelphia Navy Yard in the Old Navy Chapel. Chairman of the board, retired Navy Captain Lou Cavalier, and Executive Director, Ms. Christine Beatty, are here to make a presentation.
Good evening, everyone. It's truly an honor to be here, multiple years now, working with Larry and the group with, really recognizing our veterans and our military. I am Christine Beatty. Michelle Nalfi is also with me. She's the second and only other full-time employee in Philadelphia. But what I wanted to say just really quick is I have been corrected numerous times on this, so I thought I should acknowledge this correction. I thought they were covers and not hats. Right? Okay. I just want to make sure. I've had several veterans say that to me, so wanted to be correct about it. I want to go over just a few things about the Four Chaplains Quiz. Congratulations today for all of your recognitions. Thank you so very much for your commitment to our country, to your service, to everything, and allowing us to sleep peacefully at night. My nephew is currently serving in Korea, also U.S. Army. We haven't heard from him in weeks, so your heart is in your feet at all times for the families, and I thank you for that. And I wish you a full recovery as you proceed. The Chapel of Four Chaplains is located at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. We have been open since 1951. For those of you who don't know the Four Chaplains, we are based out of a World War II appearance, where the USAT Dorchester was headed to Greenland to serve the war. 902 members were aboard that ship. On the ship was 4 Army chaplains who went up on the deck of the ship when the ship was torpedoed by a German U-boat about 80 miles off the coast. And they sat and gave out all the life vests on the deck of the ship. And after the last life vest was given, they stood, looked at each other, and in unison took their own jackets off, basically sealing their fate. And they gave their 4 vests to the next 4 soldiers in line. They were a rabbi, Catholic priest, and 2 Protestant ministers. And never once did they say to the soldier in front of them, "Are you Catholic? Are you Jewish? Are you Protestant?" They gave them to the next 4 in line. Then they locked arms on the deck of the ship, prayed in their respective religions, and also perished with the ship. Out of 902 members, only 230 survived. We have 1 currently living survivor still with us in the Michigan area. It is truly a heartfelt way to be here today to explain the sacrifice that our chaplains and those members, those 672 who sacrificed themselves that night. The U.S. Coast Guard Rescue Group 240. The chapel represents all of them in Philadelphia. We have 4 components that we base our commitment and our programs on. But we also have 5 bronze plaques in the building, and I highly recommend if you get the chance to come to Philadelphia to come see them. Those 5 plaques represent the 672 who perished that night. So for that, our building is their cemetery. And those 5 plaques are their headstones. And their families come to visit all throughout the year to see their names written on those plaques. And it's truly heartfelt and emotional to see. The 4 components that we have is the one reason we're here today, which is our Legion of Honor Award program, which recognizes ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Those going above and beyond their day-to-day paying jobs to give back, to service their country, to service their states, their communities, keep giving of themselves without ever asking for anything in return. And we do that as an international program. our scholarship program for all of you youngsters here in grades 5th through 8th. Our scholarship program will be out in the next 2 weeks. By October 15th, it will be posted. And that is based for art, essay, photography, or YouTube video. And we started including YouTube videos, so we didn't exclude any children. In talking to some special needs teachers, said, how are we going to include our special needs students? And that's how we're able to do it, is to allow them to submit YouTube videos. We've had a few of them, but it does now become extremely inclusive. Then we have our Veterans Outreach, which is, this is what this represents. It's our Veterans Outreach to those others in the communities and all around the world. If we're able to be there, we are there. And we sit there and we are able to recognize our veterans as much as possible for all their service and sacrifice. And then our emergency chaplain corps. So our emergency chaplains, our first responders who are trained to be ready, willing, and able to deploy at any time. And we are on standby for Florida and Texas should they need us. So we have a great senior chaplain that's on board with us now on the board, and he has been guiding that whole piece of the programs. So I highly recommend you come visit with us. With that, along with my chairman of the board, Captain Lou Cavalieri, we want to present to you today our Legion of Honor certificate that Lou will read to you shortly. Along with that is a folder of information about us. But included in that, and part of this program that we've been working with Larry on, is we would like to present you with a $500 check from your son, from the chapel. So thank you for very much.
I ask everyone to please rise. Attention to orders. The Chapel of Fort Chapel is pleased to present the Legion of Honor Award to Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney, U.S. Army, for her service, and we present this on September 24th, 2017, in recognition of your service. To us, all people, regardless of race and faith, this award symbolizes for all Americans and for all time the unity of this nation, founded upon the fatherhood of one God. And we salute you, Angeleek Courtney. Congratulations, and thank you very much for your service. We are all veterans here, and someday you're going to find yourself doing the same thing to others as we are doing to you today. Please remember that, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Christine and Captain Lou. Please have a seat. Now, I mentioned earlier that the selection process to find our wounded warrior is not a simple one. Sometimes it's taken months to identify who our wounded warrior would be. The past few years, we've been very fortunate to have the assistance of retired U.S. Army Major General Tom Matthews, who is here with us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's show our appreciation for the General's assistance with a warm South Jersey round of applause. And this year also we had an additional assistance in our selection process from Command Master Sergeant Alex Galarza, who is also with us here today. So please join me in applauding his efforts on our behalf as well. Well, you've now heard from just about everyone else up here. How about hearing from our wounded warrior herself? What do you think? Yeah. I hear it's about time? Okay, Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney was born in Aurora, Illinois, one of 7 siblings born to Alfonso Tucker and Sheila Courtney. When Angeleek was 9, she moved to North Carolina, where tragically her mother passed away before Angeleek's 10th birthday. Tragedy struck again several years later with the sudden loss of her father. That happened on Angeleek's birthday during her senior year in high school. Angeleek counts herself fortunate in that she had strong family connections and role models to help guide her through the tough times and inspire her to look toward her future. Several of those role models had military background. Her paternal grandfather served in the U.S. Air Force and was a combat veteran of the Korean War. Her aunt and uncle served in the United States Army before and during Desert Storm. She also has several cousins who served or are still serving in the Navy, Army, and Marine Corps. With family role models from the military, it's no surprise that Angeleek decided to join the Army. She began her military service on June 17, 1998. Through many assignments, stateside and overseas, Sergeant First Class Courtney has been all around the world, including tours in Korea, Afghanistan, and even remote places such as Fort Dix, New Jersey. But she never spent much time in or around Atlantic City until now. And she tells me she'll be coming back. Sergeant First Class Courtney didn't allow her busy Army life to prevent her from furthering her education. Angeleek's civilian education endeavors garnered her Bachelor of Arts degree in Criminal Justice from St. Leo University and a Master of Arts degree in Human Resource Management from Webster University. Sergeant First Class Courtney's military pedigree was readily apparent to me as I got to know Angeleek by phone and emails while we were planning for her visit. Angeleek admitted to have been very excited upon learning of her selection to be our wounded warrior, but as the initial excitement faded, she began to get a little nervous. She understood that her selection was not simply for her to enjoy a week on the beach. We were upfront in telling her that our wounded warriors come here for more than just a vacation. We don't just toss them the keys to the house and come back when it's time to leave. We get to know them ourselves and introduce them to the community at large. As such, while enjoying their vacation, our wounded warriors are expected to meet and interact with the members of the local communities, representing themselves, their fellow wounded warriors, their comrades in arms, and their branch of the service. Angeleek admitted that this made her a little nervous. But it soon became clear to me that Angeleek had absolutely nothing to worry about. Her 19 years of service brought her to the rank of Sergeant First Class, and to the level of experience and ability where there was no way she was going to fail to meet any challenge that came her way. For me, just the fact that she wanted so much to be a good representative of her fellow soldiers told me all I needed to know, that we had another fantastic wounded warrior coming to visit with us. And I'm sure you'll all agree that we're very happy to have Angeleek with us here today. So now that I've shared that information with you about Angeleek, I guess it's about time I call her up here so she can share some of her own thoughts with all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my high honor and privilege to present to you your Wounded Warrior for 2017, Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney, United States Army.
In addition, I would like to thank the American Legion Post 469, the women of Wilderness, the Marshall family, the New England involved in the vision at the Courtyard to create Wounded Warrior Week. There are so many people who have trained themselves to make my guests and I feel like family. The planning at the Courtyard 1 month prior to our arrival set the stage for an extraordinary week of events and experience. As a result, I will never forget the Longport community. I would also like to thank the Miracle family for extending their home to us for the week. We couldn't have asked for a better place to reside. Everyone has made a profound impact on our guests and I. So much so, my son and addition, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the Longport police, the local officials, the American Legion Riders, the Longport Fire Department, the Atlantic City High School Navy Senior ROTC cadets, the Egg Harbor Township Police Color Guard, the countless children and families who stood out in the rain as we arrived, the individuals who took the time to make posters, the neighbors who stopped by to welcome and show their support, along with the various establishments which voluntarily provided their services. Group of food, transportation, and entertainment services, and anyone else who played a role in making this week special for wounded warriors past, present, and future. Words cannot describe how overwhelmed and grateful I am. It is with a humble heart that I would like to express my gratitude toward the following individuals: Larry Fesson Charlie, Tom Schnapp, Mike Maslin, Ken and Georgianne Ross, Jenna Kelly, and their families, and anyone else I forgot, I apologize in advance. You all have been amazing. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the countless wounded warriors throughout the military, especially those who have given the ultimate sacrifice, to include POWs, those MIA, those who've lost limbs and or were affected in such a way that their lives were and are no longer as internally peaceful as it was before swearing to support and defend. As a wounded warrior, and when asked about how I was injured, I prefer to discuss how fortunate I am irregardless of ongoing medical issues, which are often unseen by others. There are countless servicemen and women with invisible and or internal injuries whom are hesitant to reveal those issues because of the warrior mentality within the military. My life's journey has taken me from Aurora, Illinois, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, to over 19 years in the United States Army. It's upon the many shoulders of those I've stood, my family, my military family, close friends, whose support has enabled me to accomplish my goals and dreams in life. I entered the United States military to make a difference in my life, my family's life, as well as the lives of others by serving my country. I am truly humbled by this opportunity. This week has been a life-changing experience, to say the least. It has allowed my guests and I to create new relationships and memories that will last a lifetime. In closing, I would like to thank my guests, family, and friends for all of their support. Through every up and down, these people have provided their undying support, whether near or far. They've given everything that I needed at times, even when they weren't aware of it. I would also like to add a special thank you to Michael, the big Mike. We've known each other for a number of years. He encompasses a number of qualities which include best friend, provider, a great sense of humor, intelligence, the ultimate cook and dad. Irregardless of any difficulties we've ever faced, I'm glad we've met, or I'm glad to have met such a kind and passionate person. The military has equipped me with the resources and tools to serve my country, so I wasn't gonna cry, as well as to make provisions for my son. Of all the challenges and blessings in my life, there is nothing that compares to being a mom. Michael is truly the wind beneath my wings. Thank you.
Well done, Sergeant First Class Courtney. I'll now ask Legionnaire Dennis McGuigan to come up front and make a presentation from our American Legion post. Dennis is showing Angeleek a display case enclosing an American flag and a certificate of authenticity that reads, "The National September 11th Memorial and Museum proudly presents this certificate to Sergeant First Class Angeleek Courtney, United States Army, certifying that this American flag was flown over the 9/11 Memorial at the World Trade Center on Monday, August 28, 2017. Signed by Alice M. Greenwald, President and CEO. Beautiful. We'll have this, along with the other proclamations, on the table. We'll have it set up on the table inside so you can take a closer look. Now let's prepare to retire the colors and get ready for the reception that follows. When you enter Cafe Luciano, the bar will be open, but we'll be holding the food line for a few minutes for a rather solemn and meaningful tribute to our POWs and those missing in action. We call it the White Table Tribute. So please, after Bill Mosca comes up to extend the official invitation to the reception, Legionnaire John Strobel will escort Sergeant First Class Courtney inside, and the rest of us can follow. We'd like to proceed with the White Table Tribute as soon as everyone is inside, so please don't hang around outside. Go in and grab a drink while our Legion members prepare for the tribute to honor our POWs and missing in action. Color Guard, prepare to retire the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Color Guard, retire the colors. Veterans, at hand hood, hand salute. Ready, two. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask Bill Mosca to come up here, have a seat for a second, and extend the official invitation to the reception. I should explain here that Bill's father was a member of our Legion post, and along with Donald Sheehan, was a primary proponent for establishing our Wounded Warrior Week program. Unfortunately, Bill Sr. passed away a few years ago, and Bill Jr. now continues that strong support for our program in honor of his father. Let's have a round of applause for Bill Mosca Jr.
I will. Is that good? All right, thank you, Larry. Thank you very much. And thank you to all the veterans here this evening and active military. A special thank you to you, Sergeant. It was such a pleasure to meet you on Friday for the first time. And Michael, we had a wonderful time with you. And you grace us with your presence again here this evening, along with Michael and your fine family. So a very, very special thank you for being here. We hope this week has been a memorable week for you and for your family, because I can tell you, we will always remember you. And we will always treasure the time that we had with you. And we hope to see you again soon. The Mosca family has continued to support the Wounded Warrior Week. We're happy to have Mom here tonight. This is my mother, Dad's wife, Dolores, my wife, Pat. I saw my brother, Michael, and his wife, Lisa, in the back. And Dad was a special man. He was a soldier. He was an educator, school principal. He was a wonderful human being, a very kind man. And he was funny, too. And he would have loved to have met you, Sergeant, along with Michael and the entire family. And trust me, we would have loved to have met him as well. So, in his memory, and also his best friend in life is sitting up there, a retired Catholic priest, Reverend Donald Sheehan. It was Donald Sheehan, Father Sheehan. my dad who started this, and I can tell you we will proudly continue this for as long as the good Lord will let us. Thank you very much, everybody. Welcome.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please hold your places while I ask John Strobel to escort our wounded warrior to the reception in her honor. There's a method to this. It's so that everybody out here doesn't swarm her while she's out here and nobody gets inside. So if you want to meet the wounded warrior, you got to follow them inside. Okay, folks, please join Angeleek, her family, and friends inside Cafe Luciano. Observe the tribute to our POWs and MIAs, and then have a fantastic evening while you get to know our wounded warrior and her guests. And enjoy the beautiful sunset here at the Jersey Shore. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it.